Ozzy Kurgal here again, and in this video we're going to talk about counting rhythms. So when you say the word rhythm, the first thing that comes to mind is the pulse behind music. It's basically the beat, and the beat gets into how time is divided in the piece. Okay, so now each note, each chord is going to receive a certain amount of time, and we're going to talk about how that's notated. Okay, here we have a staff. A staff that is divided into several measures, and each of these divisions here with the lines is a measure, and each measure is going to contain notes and notes in time. So to understand how we can put notes inside of these measures, we look to the time signature, and the time signature here is this symbol here at the beginning, read 4/4. The top number tells us basically how many beats can fit inside of each measure. And then the bottom number tells us what kind of note can receive one beat. In this particular case, the 4 represents the quarter note. And we're going to get into what a quarter note is in just a second. But the first kind of note that I actually want to introduce is the whole note. This is a whole note, and I've placed the whole note on middle C here, and you heard the sound. The whole note is worth 4 counts all by itself. So it's the only note that we can fit inside of this measure where the time signature told us that we can only have 4 beats there. Okay, let's move on to the next note. This is a half note. Looks kind of like a whole note, but it has a stem on it. And each half note is worth 2 counts. So you have 2 plus 2 is 4, and that fills up that measure. So we have 4 divided by 1, that's the whole note. Now we have 4 divided by 2, that's the half note. And we can move on to quarter notes. I'm going to put 4 quarter notes here on E. And that's basically how the 4 in the time signature at the bottom here came to represent the quarter note. Because if we divide the measure into 4 beats here, each quarter note will receive 1 beat. So that's 4 representing the quarter note. So there you have whole note, half notes, and quarter notes. If we listen to the way this is played and count it out, it's like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's basically it. Incidentally, you can also write out combinations. Here I can put a half note and then 2 quarter notes. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's listen to that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. So we have our whole note, 4 counts. Half note, 2 counts each. Quarter notes, 1 count each, division of 4 there. And now we're going to move on to a division of 8 eighth notes. I'm going to put 8 eighth notes on the G here. And even though we have 8 notes in the measure, we still only have 4 beats altogether. So each of these eighth notes is like a half a beat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and kind of pushes our pulse a little faster there. Let's listen to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you see that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and we just moved our pulse a little faster, but we still had 1, 2, 3, 4 beats. And we could keep going notating up this way. I've actually gone ahead and sort of pre-notated out the sequence that I was writing there. There's our whole note, 4 counts, half note, 2 counts each, but we counted 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Quarter notes, half note, quarter, quarter are eighths, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we have some combinations, quarter note, 2 eighths, quarter notes again. And then these here, whereas the eighth notes have the flags that connect them, in contrast to the quarter notes which do not have the flags, we have the 16th notes which have a double flag. And the 16th notes basically are dividing this in whole measure of 4 beats into 16 little parts. So it sounds very fast. Like that. Let's listen to the whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and for the 16 notes can be a little hard to say, but you got to get used to it. And that's basically how rhythms work. Rhythms are notated out like this, with each of the note heads with the stems representing a certain amount of time. And then of course you have the notes notated on the staff, the lines and spaces telling you what note to play. Alright, so that's not a lot, although it's certainly enough to get you started as we move on to the next step of the program.